When you work in hospitality, the noise never stops. There's always something that needs your attention. A customer issue, a staff problem, an order that's gone wrong, a fridge that's packed up. And because we live in a world where service really never ends, we convince ourselves that we can't stop either. We push through, we hold it together, we tell ourselves, I'll rest later. But later rarely comes. The truth is, we're not built to run on full power all the time. And when you don't make time to reset, your body will do it for you, usually through burnout. Sometimes through panic, but always when you least expect it. That's what this episode is about, learning how to pause before you break, not waiting for the next day off or the next holiday or the next disaster to force you to stop, but using small, powerful resets, moments that take minutes, not hours, to bring yourself back to calm, clarity, and control. These are what I call emotional reset rituals. And they've changed everything about how I lead, how I live, and how I stay well. Welcome to the Lead World channel, where we explore the inner world of leadership, well-being, and what it means to build a business that doesn't break you. Hi, my name is Trevor. I run a multi-award-winning restaurant and cocktail bar, and I also coach other hospitality business owners who want to find balance and lead with more clarity. Before I could help anyone else, I had to learn how to save myself. Because there was a time when I had no idea how to switch off, no idea how to calm down, and no idea how to stop the endless spiral of stress, anxiety, and overthinking that had become my normal. I remember one shift, a particularly brutal one, when everything that could go wrong did. Staff off sick, equipment failures, a customer complaint that pushed me over the edge. I held it together on the surface, but inside I was falling apart. At one point, I had to disappear around the back of the building just to catch my breath. And that's where it happened, a full-blown panic attack behind my car. I remember crouching down, shaking and trying to hide, hoping that no one saw me. I felt ashamed, I felt weak and alone. But what I didn't realize at the time was that my body wasn't betraying me, it was protecting me. It was saying, you've gone too far, you need to stop. I wish I'd known then what I know now, that I didn't need to reach breaking point before finding peace. That I could have built moments of calm into my day, simple structured resets that would have given me back control before everything collapsed. It took a few more low points to figure that out, including one of the hardest moments of my life, a series of 3 panic attacks while driving with my wife sitting beside me. That was the one that really shook me awake. That was the day I promised myself that I would change. And since then, I've spent years learning how to manage my mind, my body, and my energy, and building tools to help others do the same. These videos are a part of that mission, to share what actually worked for me, and to help others climb out of the same dark places that I found myself in. In this video, I want to show you the simple reset rituals that helped me turn the tide. Micro practices that calm your emotions, regulate your energy, and stop spirals before they start. We'll look at how they tie into tools like the crisis recovery plan and the reset ritual template, and why these small resets will do more for your well-being than any rare holiday ever could. Because when you learn how to reset in minutes, you don't just survive hospitality, you start to thrive in it. If you find yourself reacting rather than resetting, snapping under pressure, holding tension in your chest, or feeling like you can't switch your mind off, that's exactly what my business and wellness quiz was built for. It helps you identify where the pressure points are, where your energy is leaking, and what you can do to get back in balance. You can take it for free, and the link's below. You carry a lot, and you deserve the tools and the support to carry it well. Why we need emotional reset rituals. The hospitality industry has an unspoken rule that we're meant to be unbreakable, that we can handle anything and that the stress is just a part of the job. But that mindset is really dangerous because it teaches you to push through instead of pause. We wait for the big breaks, the rare day off, the next bank holiday, the summer holiday that's still 6 months away. But burnout doesn't wait. Anxiety doesn't wait. They creep in slowly, stealing your energy bit by bit until you can't remember what calm feels like. What I've learned is that recovery can't be an event. It has to be a rhythm. You don't need a week in the sun to recharge. You need 5 minutes of space to breathe, reflect, and reset your nervous system right in the middle of your day. That's where emotional reset rituals come in. They're the moments that help you catch yourself before you fall. And the difference they make is huge, because when you're grounded, you lead differently, you think clearly, you respond instead of react. You become the calm in the chaos instead of being consumed by it. That panic attack behind my car should have been my wake-up call, but like so many of us, I ignored it. I told myself it was just a bad day, that I needed to work harder, and that it would just pass. It didn't. Over time, the pressure built up again, and I hit another low, then another, until that day in the car with my wife, 3 panic attacks in one journey. It was terrifying, not just because of the panic itself, but because it happened in front of my wife. The one person who's seen me at my strongest now had to see me at my weakest. It broke me, and it also cracked something open, because for the first time I stopped pretending I was fine. I started talking, writing, reflecting, and slowly I began rebuilding from the inside out. Those experiences are what led me to create tools like the Crisis Recovery Plan and the Reset Ritual template, not as self-help gimmicks, but as a survival system. They're reminders that even in the middle of chaos, you can create a moment of calm, that you don't have to wait for peace, you can practice it. The power of micro practices. When I talk about resets, I don't mean an hour-long meditation or a week at the spa. I mean small, practical actions that take anywhere from 60 seconds to 10 minutes. Because if it's not simple, you won't use it when you need it most. Here's what I mean. 5 minutes of deep breathing can undo 5 hours of tension. 3 minutes of writing can stop 3 days of overthinking. And 2 minutes of grounding can prevent an anxiety spiral from taking hold. Tiny resets like these aren't about stopping your day, they're about saving it. They turn reaction into reflection. They move you from chaos into clarity. And that's what I call emotional maintenance, small moments that keep you balanced before things get too heavy. The first time I tried breathwork, it wasn't planned. A friend of mine sent me a YouTube video, a guided breathing session. And I remember thinking, breathing? That's it, I do that every day. But I was desperate, so I tried it. And I couldn't believe what it did to me. The physical shift was instant. My heart slowed, my chest relaxed, my head cleared. It was like someone had hit a reset button that I didn't even know existed. And that was the start of a daily ritual that I still do to this day. Now my mornings look like this. I wake up and I feed the dog, I make a coffee, and I retreat to my office sofa. And for 15 to 35 minutes, I do a breathwork and meditation combo, usually from a YouTube channel called Breathe with Sandy, which I can't recommend enough. Then I have a small bite to eat, I go through my to-do list, respond to anything urgent, and plan my day. After that, I go to the gym, and only then do I let the world in. It's my anchor. That hour in the morning is how I start my day on my terms, not the world's. And the difference between that and how I used to wake up is just night and day. Back then, I'd roll over, grab my phone, and check messages before I was even fully awake. My heart rate would spike before I'd even have a sip of coffee. I was reacting before I'd even begun. Now I delay that chaos by just an hour, and guess what? Nothing falls apart. The world keeps spinning, and I start from a place of control. And that's what these resets do. They give you back your control of the internal world before the external one starts pulling you in. What reset rituals actually do. Here's what's really happening when you do these resets. Physically, they regulate your nervous system. Your breathing slows, your heart rate balances, your stress hormones drop. You're literally teaching your body that it's safe. Mentally, they interrupt the spiral, the overthinking, the catastrophizing, the endless mental loops. They give your brain something constructive to focus on. Emotionally, they reconnect you to the present. They pull you out of the what ifs and they put you back into the what is. And they remind you that you're here, now, and safe. And that's how you build resilience, not by ignoring the stress, but by meeting it with calm over and over again until it becomes your new normal. How to create your own reset rituals. Let's make this practical. Creating your own reset rituals starts with recognizing what calms you. It doesn't have to look like mine, it just has to work. Here are some examples that you can try. Grounding. Take 30 seconds, feel your feet on the ground, name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. It sounds simple, but it brings your mind back to your body and your body back to now. You could try writing. Open the Crisis Recovery Plan or the Reset Ritual template. Write what's happened and what you're feeling, what's in your control, and 1 action that you can take. You don't need to write paragraphs, just the truth. This is how you pull thoughts out of your head before they eat you alive. Breathing. 3 minutes of slow, deliberate breathing. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Repeat. When you slow your exhale, your body sends a message to your brain and it says, we are safe. Movement. Step outside for a 2-minute walk. Stretch your shoulders, shake your hands, get oxygen moving. It's often all you need to break a loop. Reflection. Ask yourself 1 question. What went right today? Or what can I release before tomorrow? None of these take long, but they work. They're not meant to be perfect routines. They're anchors for when life feels just too heavy. And if you fall out of practice, that's okay, just come back to it. The power isn't in doing it every day without fail. It's in always finding your way back when you need it the most. Why small resets beat big holidays? A holiday is lovely, but it won't save you. A week in the sun doesn't fix 6 months of mental overload, because the problem isn't that you never rest, it's that you don't reset often enough. It's not about how far you go, it's about how frequently you stop. 5 minutes of peace every day will do more for you than 5 days of escape once a year. because those daily resets teach your body and your mind how to find calm on demand. And that's what emotional fitness looks like. Not perfection, not total stillness, just the ability to find your center again and again, no matter what's happening around you. This is what my Lead Well framework is built on. L stands for look inward, notice when you're carrying too much and take a breath before reacting. E is establish rhythm, build your resets into your week. They're not luxuries, they're lifelines. A is for align your energy, learn what fuels and drains you and regulate accordingly. And D, direct with clarity, make decisions from calm, not chaos. This framework isn't just a theory, I've lived this experience. It's how I went from surviving my business to leading with absolute clarity. And resets, these small, consistent rituals, were the heartbeat of that change. You don't need to overhaul your life to get better, you just need to start resetting it. Every big change I've made began with a small pause, a breath, a moment, a short walk, a quiet reflection. You can't stop the chaos of hospitality, but you can learn to anchor yourself within it. You can't control everything around you, but you can control how you return to yourself. And that's what emotional reset rituals give you, the ability to pause, breathe, and remember that you're still human. When I think back to the version of me who didn't believe things could ever get better, it's hard to recognize him. I backed myself into such a dark place that I couldn't even imagine another way of being. I'd forgotten what joy felt like, forgotten what it was like to laugh or to feel present or to just exist without pressure. Looking back, I must have been really difficult to be around, distant, distracted, angry at the world, but mostly at myself. My wife was my rock during that time, and I can't imagine how hard it must have been for her to stand by me when I couldn't even stand myself. But she did, and over time I started to climb back out again. It didn't happen overnight. There was no single fix, just 1,000 small resets, 1,000 tiny moments where I chose to stop instead of push, where I wrote instead of ruminated, where I breathed instead of panicked. Those moments built belief, and that belief built everything else. Because once you believe it can get better, it can. These small resets changed everything for me, and combined with the rest of the Lead Well framework, they gave me back my balance, my joy, and my life. And I want that for you too. Whatever you're facing, whatever feels unreachable right now, I promise it isn't. It's not easy, and it won't happen in a day. It takes 1,000,000 mini steps, 1,000 tiny changes, and hundreds of decisions to choose yourself. But it only takes one moment to start, one breath, one pause, one reset. And with the right tools and the right structure and the right support beside you, you can do it. You can climb back out of the dark, you can rebuild balance, and you can find peace again. It is possible, and it is worth it, I promise you that. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a subscribe. It helps me, it helps the channel, and it helps people like us find the content that really matters. As always, I'd love to remind you that you matter too. Don't forget that.